there was a noticeable level of stability in the exchange rates between NZD and Malaysian ringgit. Over the 5-year periods from December 2019 to December 2023, the rate fluctuated very little, starting at 1 ringgit to 0.36 New Zealand dollar in December 2019 and ending at 0.34 New Zealand dollar in December 2020. Before rising to 0.35 New Zealand dollar in December 2021, remarkably, the exchange rate showed resilience by going back to its starting point of 0.36 New Zealand dollar in December 2022. In December 2023, the trend resumed with a recovery to 0.34 New Zealand dollar. This consistency points to a somewhat steady economic relationship between New Zealand and Malaysia over this time, which supported of a predictable trading and financial environment for both currencies. The SGD or Singaporean dollar to Malaysian ringgit exchange rate remained fairly steady in 2019, hovering around 3.25 ringgit per Singaporean dollar with some fluctuation. The pandemic caused a slight dip in 2020, with the currency bottoming out at 3.12 ringgit per SGD in April before recovering to around 3.20 ringgit per SGD by year-end. 2021 saw steady appreciation due to regional economic rebound, reaching its peak of 3.30 ringgit per Singaporean dollar at the end of the year. However, Singapore's economic slowdown in 2022 put downward pressure on the currency, leading to a decline to 3.22 ringgit per SGD by year-end. This trend continued in 2023 with some volatility, pushing the exchange rate down to 3.15 ringgit per Singaporean dollar by December. The COVID-19 epidemic in Malaysia has had a notable effect on the country's economy, resulting in the depreciation of the Malaysian ringgit and the decrease in GDP. A number of important industries were also negatively impacted by the epidemic, including, in addition to shortage of product and services, a lot of business also had to deal with social distancing and lockdown regulation, which had an impact on their earnings. According to a report published on February 11, 2021, Malaysia's GDP contracted by 3.4% during the fourth quarter of the previous year. Furthermore, the Malaysian economy shrank to 5.6% in 2020, the worst showing since the Asian financial crisis of 1998. In New Zealand, the border closure and restriction on alert levels implemented during the June quarter had a greater impact on certain industries than others. Alert Level 4 was temporarily implemented, meaning that most construction work and some manufacturing sub-industries were considered non-essentials. Manufacturing experienced a 13% decline, while construction saw a 25.8% decline. Household expenditure declined 12.1% during the quarter, coinciding with the decline in production. Spending on household services like takeout and restaurant meals, as well as domestic and international flight travel, drastically decreased. Travel service export and decreased as foreign tourist spending decreased following the border closure, while the GDP has fallen 12.2% by June 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic initially sent shockwaves through the Singaporean dollar, causing a temporary dip in its value due to reduced tourism, supply chain disruption, and global risk aversion. However, Singapore's strong economic fundamentals and the Monetary Authority of Singapore, or MAS, effective policy response helped the SGD recover quickly. In the post-pandemic era, the SGD has experienced both appreciation and depreciation due to factors like Singapore's economic slowdown, the strengthening of US dollar, and rising inflation. Overall, while COVID-19 demonstrated that even a stable currency like the SGD is not immune to global shock, Singapore's sound economic policies and proactive measures by the MAS have helped mitigate the pandemic impact and maintain currency stability. Thank you.
The currency stability of New Zealand and Singapore is influenced by the political environment and policies of the respective countries. So the first one is political stability. Political stability is an important factor for monetary stability. Both New Zealand and Singapore enjoy a high level of political stability. It increased the confidence of investors and market participants through contributing to monetary stability. The second one is economic policies. The economic policies of two governments have the decreed impact on the stability of the currency. So, for example, both financial policy and monetary policy affect the value of money. The third is about the international relations. New Zealand and Singapore international relations, particularly with major trade partners, also affect the currency stability. Good international relations help both trade and investment, which in turn contributes to currency stability. The first is internal policy events and internal policy events that may affect economic confidence, such as election, policy changes, or political secrets, and have a short-term impact on the currency. So the last one is about the global economic environment. While this is not particularly an internal political factor, and global economic environment has a significant impact on the monetary stability of countries which will open the economies. So, for example, a global financial series of the original economic instability may affect the value of its currency. So, in conclusion, while the political environment in New Zealand and Singapore play an important role of the stability of their respective currencies, there are other economics and international factors to consider. The need to balance internal and external economic challenges while maintaining policy stability. So the government policies in Singapore and New Zealand have a significant impact on currency control and economic stability. So about the Singapore, the first one is about the monetary policy. Monetary policy in Singapore is particularly the responsibility of MAS, which adopt a equal monetary policy framework that regulates monetary policy by managing the in-fact exchange rate of Singapore dollar rather than through short-term interest rate. This helps to control the inflation and maintain currency stability. The second one is financial policy. The Singapore government implemented a product financial policy, emphasizing baggage balance and financial responsibility. This has boosted investor confidence in Singapore's economy, which in turn contributes to currency stability. The third one is about international trade and investment. The Singapore government actively promotes free trade and adapts foreign direct investment, which contributes to economic growth and it to stabilize the value of the currency. So, two about the New Zealand. The first one is about the monetary policy. Monetary policy in New Zealand is particularly the responsibility of RBNZ, which to maintain price stability and control inflation. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand influenced the money stability and economic activities by adjusting the official cash rate. And the second one is financial policy. The New Zealand government have also adopted a sound financial policy, striving to maintain a balanced budget and stability top level, such as a policy would help maintain economic and monetary stability. So the last one is about the economic reforms. Over the past 3 decades, New Zealand have implemented a series of economic reforms, include market liberalization and trade liberalization, which have increased the flexibility and competitiveness of the economy and have positive impact on the currency stability. So in general speaking, Singapore and New Zealand have managed to maintain their monetary and economic stability through in-fact monetary policies, sound financial management, and economic policies that promoting openness and competition.